Good afternoon, and welcome to today's webinar, Boosting Your Shop-Wide Productivity with our Shopfloor Viewer and ToolManagerIQ products. My name is Joe LaGenusa. I'm the sales manager here for Camco, and along with Patrick Mooney, our senior applications engineer, we're going to be talking to you folks today about how we can boost your productivity with a couple of different products that we have here that work very nicely with GibbsCAM. So let's go ahead and get started. So we have a product we just recently launched called Shopfloor Viewer. So why use the Shopfloor Viewer? Well, first and foremost, if there's full visibility into your parts, into your tools, and into your toolpath information. So you can actually see what's going on from the programming side out on the shop floor. You also can get a chance to really see precisely the programmer's intent when it comes to programming the part, all within this viewer-only product. It is a read-only product, so it ensures access to unintended changes that may occur. So there aren't going to be any unintended changes. This is a read-only product, so no editing capability out on the shop floor. You can also catch issues early with full cutting simulation, so you can actually see the simulation of the product being cut without having it sent to the CNC yet. This is a great way to catch any type of issues early on in the process. Plus, the shop floor viewer also eliminates any miscommunication across the shop floor. Plus, it eliminates paper trails, paper workflows, travelers, things of that nature. So this is a product that really allows the machinists, the setup folks out on the shop floor to see what the programmer has set up for the CNC programming without touching or being able to edit any of the code or information that the programmer has sent out to the shop floor. And we've got a live demonstration of this coming up in just a few minutes. The next product we're going to talk about and how it can boost your productivity comes along the lines of tooling. So, Tool Manager IQ. What is Tool Manager IQ? Well, it's the ability to organize your tooling information into an easy to access format. So there is no more, again, needing to try to have several different processes or operations when it comes to your tooling. All of that information is in an easy to access format. And you can see the example right on the screen showing you the example of the tool. Plus, it makes sharing the tool data across your shop effortless. Again, you don't have processes and paperwork and different things. It shares this data right across your shop, from the programmers to possibly your purchasing folks to the folks out on the shop floor. It seamlessly and streamlines your CNC part programming to make it easier from a programming standpoint when you have your tools all available to you. It seamlessly integrates right inside of GibbsCAM. So there is no need for additional purchases of tooling operations or tooling databases or tooling software when this runs right inside your GibbsCAM interface. And lastly, if you have a barcode process or a barcode scanner or tool ID system, it works wonderfully with that as well. And we're going to get a chance after the shop floor viewer to show you a little bit about the Tool Manager IQ. Now, I'm sure when we're done, you're going to have questions, and we'll be more than happy to answer those questions for you in the control panel section for questions. We'll save plenty of time at the end of the presentation for you to be able to get as many of your questions answered. You can also download brochures of each of these products in the materials section of the control panel. And again, we thank you so much for being a part of this webinar. A recording of it will be sent to you via email. So enough of me. Now it's time to get to the fun part of this webinar, and show you both products. Patrick Mooney, our Senior Applications Engineer, please take it away.
After that excellent introduction, that makes the rest of this webinar very easy on my part. I'm Patrick Mooney. I'm the Senior Field Engineer for Camco, and we're going to have a quick look, a first look at the GibbsCAM Shop Floor Viewer. And if we have a motto for the Shop Floor Viewer, it is view, analyze, collaborate, conquer. The GibbsCAM Viewer is a high-value shop floor communication tool designed to reduce scrap due to miscommunication. Your entire manufacturing team will realize the benefits easily. On the shop floor, you may have a laptop, or in most shops nowadays, they have a dashboard at the machine where the traveler information might be furnished, the drawings. The GibbsCAM Shop Floor Viewer can also be added to that dashboard or a standalone PC, and it runs a standard GibbsCAM license, and it licenses only the viewer options. It's the same executable that you normally download for GibbsCAM. When you install it and install the GibbsCAM Viewer license, then you will see the license features just for viewer. And the first thing that you want to do is convey that information from the back office down to the shop floor in a low-cost environment. And this low-cost environment is the GibbsCAM Shop Floor Viewer. Many times in the back office, the people on the shop floor, meaning the setup persons, the operators, and even some of the local programmers on the floor that are helping make sure that things move smoothly, they don't get all the information that comes across on maybe an Excel spreadsheet. So what I like, I've heard this said many times, is if a picture is worth 1,000 words, then a video is worth 1,000,000. So the first item that we have in the GibbsCAM Shop Floor Viewer is simulation. When the Shop Floor Viewer is installed on the floor, you simply drag and drop the GC package out of your programming department, and you can simulate the program, watch the machine movements, and identify visually many things that are going to happen down on the shop floor, such as, where's the machine envelope? How do my travels look? Am I inside of the travels of the machine? Can the program error checker also tell us if we've over-traveled an axis? So yes, we have access to those items, including the show position tool, which during simulation shows the location and where each axis is in its travels. So simulation is the first big item in the shop floor viewer. And whether that simulation is machine sim or simply part sim or op sim, both of those have tremendous value in conveying your intent to the shop floor personnel. How many times have you seen a program sent to the floor and the operator or setup person wasn't really in tune with where the 0 point of the program was? They put it in the wrong place, and the first part was scrapped for whatever reasons. With the shop floor viewer, you will be able to see on the floor exactly where the 0 point is, exactly what tooling is being used, what fixturing is being used. You can right click and show properties of selected, and there may be a fixture part number here. So simulation. Second, fixture components and part numbers. Third, part 0 location. Now, important programmer notes. When the programmer is creating this program in the environment of GibbsCAM, there is an area in the document control called comments, where we have part comments that get posted in the program, but we have programmer notes that were intended to convey information to other persons on the team, such as, which fixture are we going to use? Fixture number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And which tools are going to be used? How many operations are in this program? Are we using a work stop, or are we using some other type of information to get the part in the right location? So important programmer notes are also carried over in the GC package or part file down to the shop floor viewer. Important programmer notes. Tooling definitions and feed and speed parameters are the next part about what goes on. It's important for the shop floor personnel to understand which tools are being used, what feeds and speeds and cutting data are being used, which holders. All of that information is very important for the success of a machining operation. You also have the ability to view the current feeds, speeds, depth of cut, width of cut, type of cycle, without having to worry about unwanted changes to this program. This is a viewer only. The operators and setup people on the floor can quickly identify where maybe a feed and speed needs to be changed, and they can send that information back. Operation 2 needs 25% more on the speed and 10% more on the feed rate. These are all high value targets when it comes down to the operation floor. Operation data is also available in the viewer using Operation Manager. We're going to talk just a second about Operation Manager customization. You'll notice that my Operation Manager has cut down to the bare minimums. When you get the product and first install it, if you look at the header here in this operation spreadsheet, you will see all of this information. You can remove all, and we added cut time, speed, contour feed, and tool. That way, these are the most important pieces of information that we want to see right now. On the shop floor, they can add or remove that information. They can click the stopwatch, see what the entire cycle time was. And the entire cycle time is calculated by cutting speeds and feeds and rapids and tool changes. That information is encoded into the MDD of your particular machine. When you get to the Op Manager, you can sort ascending or descending by cut time. When we go to optimize a CNC program, we always start with the longest ops. Here's a 59-second op. If we can take 10 seconds out of that, it's a lot better than taking 1 second out of a 4-second operation. So again, these can be easily sorted using the header columns. You can sort by operation number, by cut time, speed, feed, or any other parameter that you happen to put in there. This is a tremendously important part of GibbsCAM, which is the operation manager and the tool manager. Operation data, we just finished. GibbsCAM reporter access. As you all know, GibbsCAM has the reporter on the plugins menu, and you have the ability to output a reporter template or a report in there for tool report, operation report, or part report. Now, also on the shop floor personnel have the ability to measure the part in several different fashions. When you have a part or a fixture on the screen, we can first go to plugins and show position, and we can measure that part. Or we can go to view and measure and use that measurement tool to check the dimensions of the part, making sure that, yeah, we know what we're shooting for here. What did we actually get after the part was cut? There are many more features that are available in the shop floor viewer, but as you can see, it is a tremendous communication tool. Joe, I have just about wrapped up on the shop floor viewer, and I'm getting ready to switch over to TMIQ. Is there anything that you would like to add on the GibbsCAM viewer before we switch screens here?
No, I think we are good to go. We'll take care of all the questions at the end. Thanks, Patrick.
Right, very good. Let me switch over. I'm going to switch screens here. I'm actually switching computers. And by the way, on the shop floor viewer, when you install it, you can't have a GibbsCAM, a full GibbsCAM installation and the viewer installation on the same computer. This is a much simplified version, and it uses its own license. So on your shop floor, that viewer will have its own license, and you will only have the viewer out on the shop floor. And remember, this is at a very low price point. Now let's switch screens. Let me grab another mouse here, And let me share another screen on a totally different computer that does not have the shop floor viewer on it. Here, we're talking about Tool Manager IQ. What is Tool Manager IQ? Tool Manager IQ is a GibbsCAM integrated plugin that stores and manages your tooling, tool holders, fixtures, and supplier info in one easy to use interface. And if we have a motto for Tool Manager IQ, number one, it's TMIQ, know where your tools and fixtures are. And if we expand that motto to a couple of bullet points, simplicity, convenience, power, and speed. When you install Tool Manager IQ on your computer, you'll see this icon right here, TMIQ. When you launch that, you will see a very GibbsCAM familiar menu. Let's look at the basic menu items that we have here. We have the tooling menu, which brings up the tool interface. In the tool interface, we can see mill tools, lathe tools, broaches, probes, holders, and we can even create reports. The second button in here is the fixturing icon. The fixturing icon brings up this fixture management interface, which allows us to either look at individual fixture components, and we'll talk about how to add and subtract these from the TMIQ interface in just a moment. But we also have fixture assemblies, which are made from the fixture component table. Let's go look at fixture assemblies, and you'll see we have two assemblies here for you, a macro grip 100 vise with its two jaws, and a Haas 5-axis vise and riser with its two jaws. That is the fixturing interface. We'll come back to how those work in just a moment. The next item that we have on the TMIQ list is something that's very, very important. The ability to manage your tooling and fixturing suppliers, again, all in one place. You have all that information right here at the tip of at your fingertips, and it's inside of GibbsCAM. And as we dig a little bit deeper into the TMIQ interface, you'll see how the menus even look exactly like GibbsCAM menus. Here we have our standard suppliers, Harvey Tool, Sandvik Tools, Helical Solutions, GAR Tool, ISCAR. And when you create a supplier, you can also put that supplier's logo in there, their phone number, their email, and any notes or people that may be in that organization. The next icon is the Fritz icon, which we will cover in just a moment. Fritz is going to help us identify, number one, which cutters we can use, and number two, feed, speed, depth of cut, and width of cut. Here we have our group management tool. And then finally, down here on the end, we have our settings. Keep in mind that this is a SQL-based product that can be shared across your computers. We are looking at the GibbsCAM plugin of TMIQ, but it's also available in a standalone. Now, let's go right to it. Let's open the tool interface of TMIQ and have a look. Let's see what the basics are. Let's go to Finish End Mills. These are all end mills that I have loaded at some time. And when you click on that end mill, you first get a picture of what that end mill looks like. We will show you how to create that because we're going to create a new tool, add it to the TMIQ interface, and put an icon here so that we can see it. Now, let's have a look at this tool by simply double clicking it. You'll notice that the TMIQ interface is purposely made to be familiar with the same look and feel of GibbsCAM. GibbsCAM and TMIQ stores your existing tooling and fixturing so that you only need to create a tool or a fixture one time. Once you save it to the TMIQ interface, it's right here in front of you, and you can import it into any part file. It allows the setup of favorites to keep your most widely used items at your fingertips. If we go here into groups, you'll see that I have this one in my favorites category. So here, if I simply select favorites, those are the favorite tools. They might be my first 5 starting tools that I use every day. I've got a finish end mill, a rigid tap, face mill, and yes, it can manage your Renishaw probes and anybody else's holders, inserts, tooling, screws, holders, even your retention knobs that go on the machine. Also in this tab, you can look at the current intermediate tooling tool blocks that are available under this profile. This is my intermediate tooling library, and we can look at it here in a read-only fashion. The same thing with fixtures. We can look at all of the fixtures that we have created in our GibbsCAM intermediate tooling library, those fixtures that are available to us. Now, the tooling library. We talked about milling tools. Let's have a look at turning tools. Here, turning tools, and keep in mind, this doesn't give you the ability to create a tool from scratch. It gives you the ability to import tools from GibbsCAM, manage them, and then export them back to GibbsCAM. Here we have turning tools. And as you can see, the turning tools also have icons on them. And look at all the information that is carried from GibbsCAM to TMIQ. This information is, again, very valuable to your people on the shop floor and your programmers. For instance, let's go to face mill and let's select this face mill right here and see what it is. It is a Sandvik 345 face mill. Our current alloy part material is aluminum. Let's click the lookup button and let's watch Fritz do his thing. Fritz is a long language engine that uses ChatGPT, and Fritz just said, okay, we can use 1,000 surface feet per minute, 5,000 feet per tooth, radial depth of cut 100 thousandths, and axial depth of cut 50 thousandths. So Fritz does have the ability to look up feed and speed, depth of cut, and width of cut data for this particular tool on the internet. That is, of course, if you have your internet connection. In the tooling list, when you're looking at individual tools such as end mills, or in this case, yes, finish end mills, you can sort again by using the header by ID, by tool ID, by name, tool type, tool offset, comment, and these pieces of information, all of these headers, can be customized by you. You can make them larger or smaller. You can drag them into another portion. You can rearrange them in the area. Now, let's say that we have our favorites right here, all of these favorites, and we're getting ready to send a program down to the floor. Can we simply select those favorite tools or those tools that are in this particular program that we're sending to the floor? And can we click the report button? Yes, we can click the report button and TMIQ will automatically create a tool list that you can send down to the floor, because this is a PDF. This PDF can be sent down to the floor and the operators can identify what is being used in this particular program. Now let's see what I have on my list. I don't want to make sure don't want to miss anything. Organizes tools and fixtures in an easy to access format. And one of the first questions that we get about TMIQ is, does it require a large swath of your time in training? And the answer is no. It is so intuitive that you can simply fire it up, and within a few clicks, you have made some tools and added them to the TMIQ list. Let's open this drill right here, and let's create another one just like it, but let's change the diameter to 0.125. 0.125. If I type everything correctly. Now that we have that selected, we can say, okay, import this from GibbsCAM. That new tool is already imported from GibbsCAM. We can put it in a group. I'm going to put it in my favorites group. That way it goes there right now. So the nuts and bolts of it are, it's very, very simple to add, and we can hit refresh, and we'll see the new tools here in the list in our favorites group. So getting tools in and out of TMIQ is a matter of just one or two clicks. And again, remember, look at the interface ability that we have with GibbsCAM. retraining is almost non-existent. Now that we've had a look at tools, let me check my list and make sure that I'm going in the right direction. This is all designed to help you streamline your CNC part programming. Instead of having tools over here and tools over there and fixtures up on the roof and holders out in the parking lot, they're all right here in front of you. Let's have a look at the fixtures. First, let's take this fixture right here and put it in the body bag. And let's close the body bag. Let's go to the fixture icon, and here we have fixture assemblies. Let's get that fixture that we were just looking at. We created it, and yes, we're going to show you how to recreate that here in TMIQ. We have this ready to go, and what we would simply do is export to Gibbs. We click the button, and the fixture and the fixturing components are now in Gibbs. We're going to select them, right-click them, show properties of selected, and give them all the properties of fixtures. Once these TMIQ fixtures are in GibbsCAM, can we adjust them? Absolutely. Let's say we want to reverse those jaws. We want to flip them around. I'll move this jaw over here, grab this jaw and move it over here. And yes, we can, I'm going to undo that real quick. We can move the fixture components around and place them back on the part where they need to be to suit our simulation. I'm going to grab this vice jaw right here, and we can see very quickly, well, that was a bad decision. They don't fit. Again, see it before you machine it. Process planning is a very important part about your CNC processes, especially when you're working in a very complex environment. And if you plan ahead just a little bit, you can save bottlenecks down the line by making sure that your fixture components meet your requirements of your machine and your part and your stock. So here we are in the fixture area. Let's add this as another fixture component. We're going to give it a different name. And we're going to go to fixtures, and we can only export one at a time. So, or can we do multiples? Let me grab these and see if we can do multiples. I thought that we had import from Gibbs. Please select only one solid. So we're going to select that, and we're going to call this base 1. We gave it that information. Now we're going to import this and call it vice 1 and click OK. And we're going to call this jaw 7. And we'll call the next one jaw 8. We are creating, number 1, fixtures right now, jaw 8. They are now in the list here, base 1, vice 1, jaw 7, jaw 8. We want to create, we can see them. We can see the basic picture of that. What if we want to add a more descriptive picture? Simply click on the icon, and here is your JPG, bitmap, PNG, tagged image file library, and we can select a component photograph that we want to use to identify that particular fixture, and it automatically shows up. Then we can go to fixture assemblies once we've done that, and let's create a new assembly, import from Gibbs, and we'll call this vice setup 22. We have an empty vice setup 22 right now. Let's double click it, and let's add some components from the component list. Let's go to base 1. Let's add the next component, vice 1. The next component, we're going to be jaw 7. And the last component is going to be jaw 8. Jaw 8.x_t, which is a parasolid. Now we have that new setup right there, and we're going to double click right here. I'm going to open that vice setup right there. We're going to click here and find a suitable icon. And by the way, these icons can be a simple screenshot from Windows Snip. You can go on the web and find an actual picture of that vice and that vice setup. And then when you select it here in the list, it puts that whole assembly together. I don't have that assembly picture right here, but you can go and grab it. And now it will be accurately represented when you get the right picture in there. So fixture assemblies. Fixture assemblies can also have groups, just like we have groups in our tooling area. Let me get back to my list and make sure that we've got everything covered. Now, let's go back to the tooling and let's talk about other pieces of information within a tool. On the tool under inventory, and this is very, very important because not only are we managing the tools that are in your particular machine, can also manage tools that are in your tool crib. Here you can see this is Bay 2 bin 7002, Bay 1 bin 1000. I can change that bin number and I can move it to another place. I can add quantities to that, and we can track this tool by inventory. We can also track this tool by barcode. When we create our tool list, the barcodes will be on that tool list, and we can also divide them up by GAR tool, Harvey tool, or any other group. I'll say no group, and then all of my groups will be there. Sandvik tools, GAR tools, inventory. So you have the ability to manage the inventory at the machine, and you have the ability to manage the inventory in your tool crib as well. You can print this information. You can export to comma separated values, which is a simple Excel spreadsheet. And let's see, we've already talked about Fritz. We talked about barcodes.
We do have some good questions, Patrick, whenever
Yes,
you're
thank you,
ready.
Joe. You felt me winding down there because I got right to the bottom of my list.
Absolutely. So you may have touched on this one, but Sal was asking about soft jaws for fixturing.
Hello, Sal Santangelo. It's good to hear your voice, or it's good to see you. Soft jaws. What's the difference between a hard jaw and a soft jaw in Gibbs? Well, when you are machining a part in GibbsCAM, under machining preferences, using global settings, each toolpath, as long as that fixture is in the part file, will be avoided by this amount. So if I say I want to avoid that fixture by a quarter of an inch, I can either put it on the individual operation or I can make it global. And it will avoid that fixture by, or all fixtures, by a quarter of an inch. But what Sal wants to know is, this is a soft jaw. I don't want to avoid it. I need to cut into it because the part nests inside of that jaw. That's very simple. Right click the fixture component that you want to change and change it from body type fixture to body type fixture display only. When you do that, the fixture collision tolerance will be eliminated and you can cut into that part as much as you want, as it is now a soft jaw. Thank you, Sal.
We got another one for you, Patrick. A couple from Robert Ruscher, who wants to know about speeds and feeds within the Tool Manager IQ for tools.
Yeah, speeds and feeds within the ToolManagerIQ. Let's go and grab a tool and let's go back and look at this face mill. And let's check, let's select another face mill. This is a Sandvik 245 face mill right here. We have it open. Let's change the material before we do anything. Let's go to document control and change our material to carbon steels wrought. And let's reopen that tool and let's see what Fritz says about this particular material. We have selected a material. We have selected a tool. Now we click the lookup button. What Fritz does is he goes on the internet. He finds this tool diameter, this surface feet per minute, this inch per tooth, this depth of cut. The material, the Brinell amount, the cut type, feeds and speeds, depth of cut. These are recommended to be only used as a starting point. You should always consult with a qualified tooling representative for the documentation provided by your tooling manufacturer. That's a simple disclaimer that says, take everything that you get as a starting point and work either up or down from there. Mr. Joe.
And then Patrick, Robert asks also about the fixture movement is used in the Tool Manager IQ as well. Any kind of fixture movement.
Yes, yes. Inside of the Tool Manager IQ, you have fixture movement. If we go into fixture assemblies, we can change the X offset of that fixture assembly simply by typing in a new value, and it will move that fixture by that amount. So that's in individual fixture components or in here inside of the offset of the fixture assembly. So in other words, we can move one jaw, but not the other jaws, or we can move the entire fixture, let's say 10 inches over in the X axis. And when we do that, it will move inside of the part file.
Excellent. And then we've got one more here regarding Tool Manager IQ. Can you share it across your entire facility?
Yes, because TMIQ is SQL based or SQL based, it is a standard Windows component and it only requires Microsoft.NET and one or two components. But here's the cool thing is when you install TMIQ, when you go to use it, if those components are not present in your current computer setup, it will prompt you and say, hey, do you want to install this SQL component, this Microsoft.NET component? And yes, it will install automatically once you click on the executable, and it will install that, and everybody in your facility can share this information. Remember, this is the GibbsCAM plug-in version. There is also a standalone version, which I don't have on this computer, but yes, it can be shared across your entire facility. Mr. Joe.
We have a question regarding Shopfloor Viewer. Can you actually change something like a tool within your Shopfloor Viewer?
In the shop floor viewer, you cannot change anything. You cannot make any changes to the program, to the tooling, to the operations. It is a viewer only, and it's that way for a reason. It's safety. Because what they don't want happening is they don't want someone making changes down on the shop floor. Number one, because it may cause issues with the process. And number two, you have to be able to capture those downstream items that were changed, then move them back upstream. So in the shop floor viewer, you will find out what needs to be done and report that back to, okay, operation 10 needs a new speed, or tool number 7 needs a new diameter.
Perfect. So we've got about 6.5 minutes left. If anyone has any questions that they'd like to type in. It looks like we just got one. Let's see if I can click on this one here. Let's see. Will GibbsCAM Copilot be coming back anytime soon?
GibbsCAM Copilot is active and live right now. You have to make sure that you have a internet connection though, because GibbsCAM Copilot does require that. So if you go to GibbsCAM and you look up here in the help menu and Copilot is not highlighted, it usually means that you are offline.
Excellent. Let's see here. Can you add the viewer to the same computer where GibbsCAM is installed?
The answer is no, because it requires two different licenses. One license for GibbsCAM and one for the viewer. Now, they are the same product. When you go to the download section of GibbsCAM, which is online.gibbscam.com, and you download the most current version of GibbsCAM and install it on your computer, that contains the viewer and it also contains the standard GibbsCAM. What makes it act like viewer is the viewer license. What makes it act like GibbsCAM is the GibbsCAM license. So viewers go on separate computers than GibbsCAM applications.
Great. Thank you, Patrick. Any other questions out there? We've got about 4.5 minutes left. So if you've got any questions you'd like to chime in regarding GibbsCAM or the two products that you've seen here, feel free to add them to the questions box right here. You're very welcome, Robert. Thank you for joining.
So while we have a second, Let's talk about the three levels of help inside of GibbsCAM. Level one of help inside of GibbsCAM is balloons. When you turn balloons on, you get a short description of whatever you wave your mouse over. A short description. If you want GibbsCAM to expand on that description, you click this little button right here called Help on Item and click anywhere in this menu. What's going to happen now is you'll see down here, it is opening the GibbsCAM book to the correct page, to the paragraph of the item that you clicked on, and you get to read. You don't have to go thumbing through your catalog to find out that information. And the third piece of information that we have that allows you to find things is the GibbsCAM AI Copilot. How do I create a thread milling process? Question mark. And you press enter. And you can see that the GibbsCAM AI driven Copilot is thinking right now. You can see the little ellipsis button is flashing here, and it is formulating an answer based on that question. This works very much like Fritz does. Fritz is a slightly different LLI style engine, where the GibbsCAM AI Copilot is more of an experience-based level 3 AI engine. And what it's doing right now, it's formulating an answer to that question. And it says, here is how you create a thread milling process in 9 steps. So if you have any questions regarding GibbsCAM, you can type it into the AI Copilot, and the AI Copilot will do its best to give you an answer in order of the things that you will do to make things happen. Joe Lajanus?
Great. Thank you very much, Patrick. We'd like to thank everybody for coming on this afternoon and taking a little bit of time with us regarding Shopfloor Viewer and TMIQ. Of course, you can go right to www.camco-ne.com for more information on our products page. And don't forget, we'll also be sending this webinar out to you via email as well. For Patrick Mooney, I'm Joe Lajanusa, and for all of us here at Camco and GibbsCAM, we thank you this afternoon for your time. Have yourself a great rest of the day.
Thanks, everybody.